Are we on?
Yep.
Are we on? We're on.
We are live on YouTube.
Good morning. Coming to you live from Axe Media Group headquarters here in beautiful Springfield, Missouri. It's the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay with your host, Matt and Jay. Beautiful day in the Ozarks. Shed your blood for me on Calvary. All right, let's see if we can't get an echo going.
An echo?
Yeah, whenever I turn both audio things on for this and for this, it sounds like we're talking into a fan.
Into a fan?
I see what you did there. So we averted a crisis the other day.
Yeah.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
Glad to have everybody on board with us today. The crisis we averted was Barney could not find hardly any of his stuff. Like he was missing a clutch to his hi-hat, which is a...
Yeah, it's missing?
It was missing. He was missing the clutch.
Is this the same one that I'm aware of already?
I think so.
Okay.
It was from after when we played out at the park that day, and it started pouring down rain, so we had to rush and put things up. Well,
yeah.
Also he was missing his double bass pedal.
Yeah. Where do you suppose that went?
Well, he found it. It was all thrown in different boxes and stuff where it didn't belong.
Well, I didn't do that.
No, you
I
didn't.
just want to say.
No, I think, what, you got a guilty conscience?
Nope, just know better than to touch
Hang on a
funny
second.
stuff.
You got a guilty conscience?
No.
I told you I was going to talk about that on the air.
What about it? What about it?
So Jay, obviously, he's the sharper dressed man of the group here, and he was telling me something standing over by the coffee pot. And then
I'm talking about a motorcycle.
I turned and I looked, and he had his elbow resting on a stack of chairs and his fingers together like this. And it's like, well, what did you say? Because I have to.
I said I need this motorcycle.
I need this motorcycle. He says, I need this motorcycle. Don't ever ask me about my motorcycle business. But anyways, so now I'm going to give him a hard time about that.
So I need this motorcycle. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody gets nervous whenever you ride your motorcycle.
Why?
Just because, why is this light seems a little bit on a...
Because of the light?
It's a different
That's
shade.
why everybody's afraid of me riding on a motorcycle?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so... Names.
Let's say good morning to people.
Yeah, Stephanie Lynn Shaw, good morning. Dennis Everson,
yeah.
What are you on? Axe Media Group headquarters, Axe Television Network. I'm on a chair. I am on coffee. Scott Holland, one of our new top fans for this week. Hello, everyone, he says. Steve McAllister says, good morning, guys. Steve McAllister says, I was watching reruns of last week. Were you watching yourself, Steve McAllister?
Yeah.
You were watching yourself, weren't you? There's nothing wrong with that. Jim Whining joined us. He usually watches on YouTube, but he joined us on Facebook today. Welcome. Steve McAllister says, Jay is a sharp-dressed man.
Thank you.
Joe Cady joined us.
Morning, Joe.
Happy birthday to our friend Israel. He is not
Happy
listening,
birthday,
but
Israel.
happy birthday to you anyways.
Yep.
We're part of the ex-boyfriends club.
What?
We're part of we're
I'm not.
No, you're not. No. Israel and I.
Mm.
Israel and I.
Yeah.
Because I dated her, then he dated her, then I dated her again. And then I dated her again after that, and then married her, and then you know the story. You were there. You were there for it. But I didn't think that I would like Israel, but we actually get along pretty well. I like him a lot.
You have something in common.
Yeah. We do.
A couple of things.
Yeah.
Guns,
definitely.
So the Democrats said, we are coming for your guns. Your AR-15, we are going to come and take it.
I saw that. And then...
I think they're trying to get a lot of the younger people out to vote.
Well, and then also, that same person was showed saying, I completely respect the Second Amendment. And then it shows them, we're coming for your AR-15s, we're coming for your AK-47s, and we're going to stop letting people use those on the American public. They can't be used on Americans anymore. Right. So whenever you take, sorry, I have to say this real quick. The views and opinions expressed on The Morning Drive are not necessarily the views and opinions of Axe Media Group, Axe Ministry, Axe Television Network, or any of its subsidiaries or subordinates. It's our opinion. So, you take them away. If you take them away, that means only law-abiding citizens will give their guns up. You know what that means? That means only law-breaking citizens will have their guns. So if you think you're going to make the world a better place by taking guns or taking our right to have guns, it's not going to work. It's going to be an all-out, it's going to be a war. It's going to be a revolution.
Even if you had a way of getting all the guns, what are you going to do when somebody comes around with a machete? You're not going to shoot them.
That's a way more personal.
You're not going to shoot them. What are you going to do? It's a sword fight or die.
Yeah.
And I got news for you. A sword fight in public or
Robin Katie, good morning.
or an attack with a machete is going to be a much more devastating and traumatic experience for everybody.
Yeah, more gruesome, more brutal.
More brutal.
I don't. They're going to try. They're not going to succeed.
Well,
you don't think they'll succeed? You think
No.
they'll succeed?
I don't know.
Sorry, I got something I got to work on here.
Yeah.
Got to find my remote.
I think there's a new generation of young people coming up who may very well want to ban them and want to repeal the Second Amendment.
There we go. That's
and
better.
may succeed at it. I think until somebody brave enough to hold their Second Amendment right as given to them by God and not relevant to the law, and is able to, by their defiance of the rules that our society are placing on us, is armed and equipped to stop one of these shootings or one of these mass murders, and does successfully, we won't have a good argument.
Right.
The problem is there's not enough guns out in public that people are carrying with them. When 18 people die in a Walmart because somebody comes in with a gun, if those 18 people were armed,
there would
have
have
been 2 maybe.
Right.
Or 3 or 4,
Well,
maybe 5.
maybe none. If people are carrying around guns, a lot less people would be.
Yeah, because you don't get into the media
Right.
by getting shot because you're wielding a weapon in public.
I will tell you this, and you guys, I don't care what anybody says. I walk around, I have a blade, and I also have my sidearm is always on me. Always.
There is the issue of theft.
Yeah.
If people are aware of your owning or having guns, how secure is your house? How secure are your guns? Nobody wants to come in when you're home because they don't want to get shot.
Right.
But when you're not home, if they're really after guns, all they have to do is know when you're not home. It doesn't take a lot to get into a house.
Stay sporadic, that's what I say.
Sporadic is one thing, yes, but still...
Gun safes are good.
Gun safes are good. When you're not
alarm
home
system.
and you're not around your weapons, they should be locked.
Yeah.
You know, in a way that they are useless to anybody that steals them. And in order to make them useful, they'd have to break them. You know what I mean?
Steve makes a good point. But how many young people know what their rights are?
I don't think any. I don't think civics and all that, or what their duties to the American
Now, Stephanie
Constitution are.
Stephanie says, I have to say this. This is my opinion. Guys don't kill people, or guns don't kill people. Sin kills people.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example out of the Bible. Abel and Cain, and a rock was used to kill there.
Yeah.
And that's true. I agree. Now, Larry the Cable Guy said it. He says, guns don't kill people. Husbands who come home early from work kill people.
Yeah.
Guns just sitting there.
But memes can make any scenario.
That wasn't really a meme. That was actually part of his
Well,
stand-up.
that is a meme, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
What does meme stand for? Do we know?
It's something that you say that everybody understands that isn't actually a description of the event. So what you really mean is a man who comes home and catches his wife cheating, shoots somebody.
Right.
Right. So everybody understands that that's what it means, even though that's not what it says.
Yeah. He also said something else that I won't mention on here, but he said,
So how does everybody understand it? They're beginning to understand that these are somehow laws written into human nature, that we all understand these things, and many or most many memes are universally understood. So if you say them in a language in a society that is not at all like ours and does not have the same social influences as ours, they would understand a lot of the memes as well. Because they are somehow laws written into human nature that we can't necessarily avoid.
Right, yeah.
That nothing will change them. It's been that way. It will always be that way.
I am. Does the lighting seem kind of yellow to you guys? Sorry.
Yeah.
It might be my screen.
So a little bit.
That's weird. I wonder what's causing it.
Because those have yellow.
Well, it seems yellower than normal.
There's more yellow in those than normal. Seems to be.
I could take all the yellow out, and that's all white.
But the thing is, you can take any obscure scenario, put it in a meme, and sure, everybody understands it because they can imagine it, even though that's not their experience.
Right.
They know their own nature. It appeals to their own nature just like it does everybody else's, even though they've never confronted that situation. So don't actually have any kind of empathy to understand it. That's why people can have empathy. They can imagine themselves in a situation they've never been in and have empathy for somebody who has been in that situation just by their imagining it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they can do that, and when you start to play with that as though those truths are, it's like the media putting every mass shooting on every media outlet, so that by the time it's over, we all feel like it happened right outside our door. When it didn't actually happen, it happened 500, 1,000, 1,500 miles away from us. We still feel like it happened at the
because the
right
media is
next door.
pumping it in our face, saying it did happen on our front door.
Though it did happen, and it is a threat, and we all have to be concerned about it. And I'm not trying to belittle the experience of the people who had to suffer through this horrible experience. I'm just saying that, and it's just hysterical to think that taking guns away is going to solve this problem.
Right.
I think that godlessness is the problem.
That's the point.
People feeling that there's an eternal life, and
Morning,
they will
Jessica
be
Batson.
accountable to God.
So we are talking about gun control this morning. Yeah, it does seem a little like yellow, but I don't know what it's. I don't
Now
know.
it seems blue or something.
It's really white. It's really white light.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. I can
Anyway,
add a little bit of yellow to it.
I agree, Joe. There will be a fight over it, but I don't think enough people will stand up for their Second Amendment right. I think that a very small minority of very brave people will stand up and fight for their right to own, for their Second Amendment right. They will quickly be swept away.
The last time any government tried to take guns away, we ended up having a revolution.
No, actually, the last time was successfully in Australia.
I'm talking about us as Americans.
And they didn't take all of them.
Well, yeah. I mean, Australia, yeah. They did take all of them, except for some, I get.
No, it was like 300 million or 3 million or 300 million or 300,000.
I know, and crime
There's a
rose
higher percentage
exponentially.
still in circulation than were taken out of circulation
Yeah.
in Australia.
Well, the moment they did that, I mean, the crime rate, I'm sure, rose exponentially.
Yeah, I think gun control is a real mistake.
You know what? I love what Jessica Batson said here. No gun control. We still need them. We have skunks and armadillos. Laugh out loud.
Yeah, tipping our trash over and
Yeah, raccoons are the worst.
oh,
Or as they like to call them,
Possums.
trash pandas. That's what they're called.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Trash pandas?
Yeah, because they're cute. You know, you can't own one without actually having it in a cage with a top on it that's locked.
I don't want to shoot anybody, though.
No, I don't
That's
either.
a horrible
Nobody,
idea and a horrible
I don't think
scenario.
anybody ever wants to think about shooting anybody. I mean, I carry my firearm everywhere I go, and I pray to God every day that I don't have to use it.
I'd like to think I would lay my life down for the gospel's sake, but a lot of times I think when a gun is used for self-protection, the gospel's not really... Not
No.
that it's not relevant. The person having not heard the
Stephanie
gospel
says she
and
wants
been
to be able to-
changed by a...
She wants to be able to protect her family. And you know what? Now, I was taught from an early age how to respect guns, how to treat weapons, because you know, Dad was in the military. He's a Vietnam vet, and he taught me about how to always, in your mind, a gun is always loaded. Don't ever point it at anything unless you plan on pulling the trigger and shooting it. Other than that, I mean, it's always got to be loaded. In your head, it's got to be loaded. That way you're not going to be like, oh, look down the barrel, or pull the trigger near your leg or whatever and shoot yourself.
Yeah, and we've had people say that. Like, we've been in...
Yeah, I mean, the kid, it's like, he's like, can I look down the barrel of this thing? I said, no. You and I both, I think we said it simultaneously. No.
Yeah.
Then I took it apart and handed him the barrel by itself and said, now you can.
Yeah, he wanted to see the rifling.
Yeah, which I do. I do take the barrel out and check the rifling. What you do is you look down it and you hold like your finger or a light underneath it and shine it at an angle so that you know you can see the shadows. If you shine it right through there, it's hard to see.
Is the gun when you fire a weapon, the powder residue, is it corrosive to the gun?
No, not really. I mean, I get it can be really dirty. Now they do have particular rounds that are corrosive, like the 7.62 by 3/4s, or by 7.62 by 5/4. Sorry, or the Mazin Nagant rounds. Those are corrosive. You can buy non-corrosive rounds, but back then you had to clean it. If you just shot it once and you went to go, you couldn't put your gun away without cleaning it. It would rust the barrel. It would corrode the barrel on the inside. But I was gonna.
I have a mustache hair tickling my nose.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
And it's being stubborn.
Jessica says, Matt, I think I shared the memory with you on Messenger, but do you remember when I found a loaded handgun and we called the police to turn it in? Yes, I do remember that. She is walking to the bar to pick up her vehicle because we lived literally less than a mile from the bar. So in order to keep from getting DWIs, we would just walk to the bar. Well, she was walking to the bar the next day to get her car because she had left it there. And she looked down, and there was a 38 Special, Smith & Wesson 38 Special, with 6 rounds in the cylinder, and only one of them was fired. So she's like, I don't know what to do with this. I said, well, you need to call the police, and you need to have them come and get it. Because it had one bullet missing. I don't know if somebody shot somebody and got rid of it. I don't know. I said, wipe your prints off of it. We'll both wipe our prints off of it, off of the bullets and everything. And, you know, the officers were kind of grumpy with her that they had to drive out and pick this thing up. They said, oh, the ammo is worth more than the gun is, you know, because it had some really cool hollow point ammo. But,
Yeah, some police can really make a bad statement about our police. I serve a lot of police, and they're
oh,
really,
yeah, I know.
they're really upstanding people.
I don't have any problems with them.
Who are kind and careful to, represent the badge in a positive light.
I mean, I can see where it would be. We don't know what kind of a night they were having, but
Well, what kind of job they have? How about that?
yeah. Oh yeah, I
This
always.
isn't just a one-day thing.
If I get the opportunity, I'll always buy officer a cup of coffee or whatever they're buying. Like if I see a cop behind me with a cup of coffee and something in their hands or whatever, I'll say, "Let me pay for that for them," and then I'll bolt out the door. But yeah, they're. I don't want just have that sticker on the back of my car to get me out of tickets.
Yeah.
I do believe Blue Lives Matter, and I've been arrested numerous times and been in a lot of run-ins with the law. But you know what? If you're not in trouble and you are polite and responsible, 9 times out of 10 you're not going to get a cop that's going to be hard to you.
Yeah.
I mean, just how hard is it? Yes, sir. No, sir. They're police officers.
Unless your whole interaction with them is because you have been a total idiot to begin with.
What are you talking
A lot
about?
of times
Jay?
they are a little bit annoyed when they get there.
Yeah.
And you can
You sound like you
make it
speak from
easier on
experience.
yourself by being respectful, but still the initial call is what's in their mind. This person's an idiot.
Yeah.
They're disturbing the peace.
Didn't
They're-
you fight a couple of police at one time?
Oh yeah. I
Didn't you come to like?
resisted 6 police.
Yes, and didn't you? They didn't even press charges on you for assaulting him
No.
because you just pretty much bled in a cell.
For yeah.
They had to move you out
To
of the
clean
cell
the
you were in
cell.
to clean the cell because you have blood everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why they didn't prosecute you for that.
That never even came up.
I mean,
yeah.
that was I mean, that's punishment enough.
I think they were practicing some of their techniques on me, which hey, I deserved it. I mean, I know what I was. I know what I did. You know, and that's the thing is, so often I hear all these bad things. Look, you got to take responsibility for your own actions. This is just a foolish thing not to take responsibility for your own actions. And whether you're reacting to a situation or you feel justified in your actions, you still have to take responsibility for your actions.
Dennis Everson, I can't tell if you're being jokey or not on that. He says, I saw a show on earthquakes the other day. They said earthquakes don't kill people, the buildings kill people.
Right.
But that's true. I mean,
Yeah. True.
the
Things
earthquake.
falling.
Yeah. So I didn't have any idea that we were going to talk about gun control today, but I did see that. I did see that meme. Well, not a meme. It was a video. This guy saying, "I fully uphold this. I fully appreciate the Second Amendment." And then the very next one is like another where he says, "We're coming for your guns. We're coming for this. We're coming for that."
It's foolish. It's foolishness. People have to take responsibility for their own actions, and they have to hold people accountable for their own actions. The people who use any kind of weapon in a violent way are the people responsible for the violent act.
Yeah.
If I shoot somebody in defense of my home, I'm responsible for having the gun and shooting the person,
But they're responsible
and whatever that means.
for putting themselves
But
in that position.
they're responsible for having come into my home unwelcome and unannounced, and for reasons of criminal intent.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is, like, I found in my first marriage, when I went through recovery and started to really take a look at my own actions really closely and my own character defects, it is the responsibility. You have to take responsibility for your own actions, your own words. There's no other way.
Right.
In order for there to be healing in the society, people have to start taking responsibility. And what the principalities and powers that the devil is actually in charge of and behind the scenes in control of are the principalities and powers that are trying to remove responsibility from action. And the people who legally own firearms for their own protection are not the people responsible for these murders.
Right.
They're not responsible for it.
You're right.
And if they were armed and there at the time, they probably would have been responsible for having put a stop to it.
Yeah.
You know, so I just think it's so foolish and such an assault on self-responsibility and self-respect.
Well, you know, and I heard, I can't remember, as a senator of some sort, and they were trying to call him out and make him look stupid or like he was a bigot of some sort, and he said, and it was in regards to all these like school shootings and stuff, and he said, no, I didn't say that if you think gun control, if you think gun control is da 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 da, that I didn't say that you're an idiot. They were trying to make it sound like he said anybody who's for gun control are idiots. He says, no, what I'm saying is, if you don't understand that the issue is not guns, it's a culture problem. He said, if you don't believe that it's a culture problem, that's irresponsible of you.
Yeah, it really is.
Because it is. It's a cultural issue. Because where you have, like, let's say you have 20 bad guys with guns. on that same street, you probably have 30 good guys with guns, if that makes any sense.
What's that?
I mean, I think more law-abiding citizens have guns than illegal.
I think I'd, it'd be.
But of course, I don't know. We should do a.
Wouldn't you like to? I don't think the criminals are going to just divulge that information.
But they're not. They're not going to come up and turn their guns in whenever they try to take them away from us.
Yep. No, I don't.
They're
I
not
think
gonna all of a
people having
sudden-
their own weapons, though, and the police that we have and the military that we have, they stand in the gap. Those are the things that prevent our society. Now that responsibility and self-reflection and accountability to an eternal God have been more and more removed from our culture, you'll find that if you take these things away, the police, the military, our guns, you take these things away, and I promise you, people will be coming into your house. Not for your guns, because you won't have them. For your wife. For your children. For your food. And they will. They're
whatever
out
they
there.
want.
They're among us now.
Yeah.
And when you're in a crowded store, you're among them.
Yeah.
They are among you. And the only reason they're not doing what just fancies them with no conscience
Because of the law.
is because somebody might shoot them.
Yeah.
It's because somebody might put them in a tiny little cage for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And if you have that false utopian idea that people are good and that you take away all of these instruments of destruction to minimize the devastation that can occur by their misuse,
They'll find a bigger rock.
I can tell you right now, a fist, just a fist, can do more damage than you realize, and somebody can come into your house unarmed and damage you and hurt you badly.
I knew a guy that went to prison because he strong-armed robbed a guy.
Yeah,
Strong-armed robbery. You know what that is? That's where somebody does not have any weapons. They use brute strength to rob somebody.
Not
Now-
even just strength, but brutality itself.
Yeah. This particular gentleman, he had been drinking. Of course, his family's known for being crazy when they're drinking. But he said he was just sitting there, wanted more beer, didn't have any money for beer. Saw a guy walking down the street, right out in front of his house. Strong arm robbed him right in front of his own house.
Yeah.
And of course, the cops were called, but he wasn't thinking about that. Now he ended up going to prison because of strong armed robbery. That's a felony, I believe, in this town. But yeah.
You find yourself at the hands of a truly brutal person with no conscience, and I tell you what, and they're among us. I promise you, they are among us, and you'll understand the evil inside people and why we need to be able to protect ourselves against them, and why it takes more than just your own physical body, because people will implement such brutality on another person that you're terrified to
Priscilla
fight back.
Kemp, I have to ask you this because you live in Texas. Are you a gun gal? Is everybody in Texas gun people, or is that just a myth? I'm pretty sure it's just a myth. Not everybody in Texas are gun people, but a lot of people are gun people in Texas.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of jokes made about them, saying, hey, here, buy a fifth of Jack, get your free gun.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
I also heard, don't kill anybody in Texas. They'll kill you back.
Oh, yeah. And then, they still do the corporal punishment, the death penalty.
Yeah.
He says, if you kill somebody in Texas, we will kill you back.
Yeah.
And then if 3 or more credible witnesses witnessed you do it, you go right to the front of the line, Jack. I believe that was Ron White that said that.
Mm-hmm.
He said, most people are abolishing the death penalty. Texas put in an express lane.
Yeah.
So, Jessica Batson, we're still praying for you. She says, you all have a good day.
Yeah.
I'm off to the chiropractor to get my right hip and my back in place as usual, and my neck and my back popped. She's had problems with that for as long as I've known her. She's had serious issues with her back. So,
I think part of the problem, too, is that our government has done too good a job, and our law enforcement and our court system has done too good a job protecting the public, not only from these evil people who would do us such great harm and have no remorse for their actions, who would go door to door raping and pillaging if it weren't for them.
right.
They've done such a good job at it that there have been multiple generations of people that have never experienced it, who have never seen it, and don't understand
Jonathan
what it
Kretzmann?
even is.
Jonathan Kretzmann's a gun guy, I bet. Aren't you, John?
So what? And so I think that's part of the problem is that we are not. Okay, we are in a place now where the media portrays the violent criminal as a victim.
Because they
A
had the gun
victim to
available.
justice.
Yeah.
A victim to justice. And that's the problem is they're not portraying the evils in the world. They're not letting us understand the true evil that's in the world, and they're concealing it from us. If people truly understand the nature of evil, and were able to see it and understand what it really is, they'd understand that these things are necessary for us to protect ourselves, because if we don't have them, this world would break down into... And I think a lot of the new generation also would like to see a reduction in the population. They care more for the earth and think of us as a parasitic disease on the earth, that to reduce our numbers would be good. And
Yeah.
so a lot of them think that anarchy would be good because only the strong would survive. It would support evolution. But the thing is, what would survive is the most brutal and people who are driven by their most base natures.
Yeah.
And it would be a stepward back if evolution is true, which is one of the reasons why I don't believe that it is true, is because the strong surviving is not really true. Otherwise, we would be in anarchy all the time.
Yeah.
Because the people whose natures would survive would be people with the nature of the strong arm robbery, because everybody else would be weak.
Well, I tell you what. So I live on a dead-end street. You know that. Our neighbors that live on the very, very end, kind of down around a corner. See, not a lot of people come down our street that don't know us. Or
There's a
somebody on our
dead-end street sign.
Yeah.
So why would you go down there?
Right, exactly. Now, I have sat outside, and it was pretty fun. It was pretty funny. Sitting outside, this is back when I first moved back in with Mom and Dad years and years and years ago when I first decided to quit, doing drugs and all that. So I'm sitting out smoking a cigarette. It's back when I smoked. 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm wearing shorts, cowboy boots, tank top, and there's this car creeping down my road. And it's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the way I was standing was, all right, so the light that was shining at the barn caused there to be a long shadow in front of the horse trailer that I was standing in front of and smoke. And I had my 357 Magnum right here like this, and I just had my arms crossed and waited for their lights to hit me. And then their lights hit me. So just out of nowhere, I mean, it's dark, 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 and then boom, there's somebody just standing there staring at you at 3 o'clock in the morning and holding
Was
a
it
gun
the
in his hand.
gunmetal finish or the chrome finish?
It was chrome finish.
Oh, right.
It was
So they
stainless
saw
steel.
it.
Yeah, there was no doubt. It was very shiny.
They had a light shining back at them that looked kind of like a 357 Magnum.
Well, the way they burned rubber backing up and then burned rubber going back forward, going back the other direction, it kind of told me that may have
They
freaked,
saw it.
may have freaked them out just a little bit. I don't think they probably have never came back. But anyways, our neighbors, there was somebody sitting out on their driveway in front of their house. Like around, we have this 50-foot area that's an easement just in case they decide to make a road go through there. But we call it the 50-foot. Well, they were sitting in these people's driveway with their lights off, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the whole family, everyone in the family went outside with a gun. They turned the lights on and walked outside with a gun. These people saw the family, not just one person.
A family full of armed
Man,
people.
woman, and daughter and son. All 4 of them came out toting. And they took off so fast, they actually hit one of our fence posts and bent it. Like you can see rut marks in the ground where they were swerving trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
So that was a crisis averted.
Yeah.
You don't know what those people were going to do.
The drugs nowadays are so powerful too. I'll tell you, if you're not a drug user or if you're a drug user who wants to get clean, you can forget it. what'll happen is these people who make methamphetamines and use all kinds of drugs will spring up these drug houses everywhere, and there will be night and day unbelievable chaos that you won't sleep. And you won't sleep until you lose your mind.
You'd have to set watches.
And it won't do you any good because, see, they don't need watches. What happens is they
Lori
party.
Sneed, welcome.
They party till they drop, till their body absolutely has to sleep and just shuts them off. And so it doesn't matter about the chaos going on around them. They're out. And that's how they roll. So, you know, they're not disturbed by the mayhem because they're going to drop when it's time, and they're going to be out until their body is capable of functioning again.
Right.
Whereas, how about you and whatever kind of normalcy or whatever you would choose for your life to be like isn't how your life is going to be. Your life is going to be subject to these people who are anarchistic and want what they want when they want it, and without any way of protecting yourself. You know, it's menacing, and I don't know if you've ever lived next door to a rowdy, unruly group of dangerous and violent people, but if it ever sprung up next door to you, you'd understand why. We have a need for things like law and order and the Second Amendment. And that's just socially.
Yeah.
You think about a government that becomes tyrannical. This is what we're calling, so call it tyranny.
Right.
These situations I've described, social situations that I've described, if you don't see those already as reasons for a gun, just that there are people who will come in your house if it weren't for the idea that there might be one. Think about a government.
That'll do whatever it wants if its citizens are disarmed.
Yeah, I mean, how are we going to confront a government about their unreal, oppressive lawmaking?
They're trying to be oppressive in their lawmaking. Well, they're trying to do
What
whatever
about when
they
they
can.
say, hey, look, we need tax money, and it's going to be all your money? And it turns into a socialist environment where it looks a lot like capitalism, that only the top, most connected people have money.
I think they call it
and access to it.
democratic socialism. That's what Bernie Sanders is preaching.
And it will happen because that's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
We have so many examples of it.
Yeah, Venezuela, Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, just, I can't imagine life with socialism or, what's the other stuff, communism.
Freedom and liberty is what we were meant for.
Yeah. That's what makes us different from the rest of the world.
Justice, righteousness.
Founded on God.
Yeah.
Linda Fleetwood said, just think about the tribulation time.
Accountability to God.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we were not meant to live without.
Dennis Code joined us.
Redemption.
Did you see that Lori Sneed from First Christian Church of Dadeville is on here saying hi?
Yeah, I did see that. I've been seeing her on my Facebook. I like a lot of the stuff that she puts on.
And her
And
daughter.
I've actually just put something on yesterday, which was, I think, fantastic.
Well, I believe it's your daughter. She, I guess, teaches dance, or
I didn't know.
like dance competitions, like ballet type dance stuff.
Lori does, or her daughter does?
I believe that's your daughter, correct? Can't remember now, but my brain has just left me. But she's all the time posting stuff. You know, they're on.
I haven't seen it.
They're going on
I don't think we're friends
trips.
on Facebook.
Oh, maybe.
But also another thing is, what about Walmart? No longer having gun sales or ammunition sales. Walmart was a great advocate for the gun rights people because
boys. Sorry.
they negotiate with manufacturers and get the prices down low and very, very low, and really force manufacturers to lower their profit margins to an affordable rate, where low-income people can afford some of the luxuries or things that we might consider luxuries. Well, when Walmart getting out of the
gotcha.
gun and ammo thing is going to exponentially
Walmart
raise
still
the
sells-
price of ammunition and guns.
Our Walmart still sells guns and ammo.
And we need to be concerned about co-op laws. Can all of the ammunition dealers in Springfield join together as a co-op, buy ammunition at a much lower rate in bulk, and then distribute it to each other at a higher rate, so that they might have the power to limit a manufacturer's profit margin? A manufacturer will make 300% profit if they can. You know?
I know that back when Obama was still president, and there was the Sandy Hook or Sandy Cook incident, Walmart was selling out of all ammo. People were afraid to. I mean, they were afraid. They were convinced that the government was going to hike up the price of ammo so high that you couldn't buy it, because that's what they had talked about doing.
Yeah.
So everybody's buying. Everybody's buying. There was lines. They were only allowing 2 boxes per person. Otherwise, someone would come in and buy out the whole entire stock of a certain caliber, and nobody else would get any. So you could buy 2 boxes at a time. I knew a guy that had his wife at one Walmart, and they were waiting in line for whenever the truck unloaded. His wife went to one Walmart, he went to another, and he had a couple of friends go to 2 other Walmarts. And they all got ammo at the same time and ended up with thousands of rounds. See, I'm like, I've always been that way where I feel like if I'm in a situation where I need more than 100 rounds, I'm probably screwed anyways. You know.
Well, you should be practiced well enough at your use of the firearms that you would be very effective and efficient at it, so that if you have 100 people coming at you, after the first 10, they realize that their numbers are not enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we see videos of that famous actor who goes out and he goes through these courses and shoots, and you realize very quickly that one well-equipped, well-trained citizen could fight tyranny successfully.
Well, I mean, we know our land. You know what I mean?
So here's what will happen. The government will, these people they'll bring in through the back door laws that will also, like for instance, like a co-op law. So what they would say is, okay, we need to stop retailers from having co-ops where they would join together, buy things in bulk, force industries to lower their prices, and then wages will go down.
Right.
Because you'll have industrial people going to work, and they won't be able to make enough profit to pay their employees well enough. So they'll bring things in the back door like that, and so that will prevent people from doing what Walmart does, is co-opting, joining together as one buyer with enough, who's buying enough volume that they can say, look, here's a sale, we will go to your competitor, and you will not sell these 10 million rounds of ammunition.
Right.
Because we'll go to your competitor. Whereas right now it's kind of, you lose one, you gain one. You know what I mean? So we have to be careful about how our lawmakers bring these things in the back door and make them sound really, really good. You know, to me, more laws aren't good laws. To me, good laws are good laws. And if we don't understand the law, it's probably because somebody's doing something in a back room somewhere, secretly crafting a law that will somehow give the government power that is not due it, that is not rightly belong to it, or that is not rightly its responsibility as a government. They do it all the time.
Deanna Cooper is your sister-in-law, right, Lori?
Yeah.
I know that. Is it Kylie, I think is that how you pronounce it. Is who I'm thinking of. She used to come up there. And
Lori only has boys, she said.
Yeah. Yeah, she. And then there's Natasha Myers. There's the whole family out there. I've always been terrible with names. I feel horrible about it sometimes.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to bring up real quick. Okay, so if you're not doing anything on the 28th and 29th of October, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., we will be doing a telethon, 12-hour day telethon. You can sponsor an hour, or you can just you can donate. What we're doing is we're raising money for operation funds to be able to continue to operate, continue to do what we do. I believe that the Lord is in it, and the Lord will continue to provide for us.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty excited about it. It'll be a fun experience. There's going to be a bunch of people here for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
You won't have to be here for 12 hours.
Yep. No.
But I mean, a couple hours would be great. We'd love to see you.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll be here for at least a couple hours a day. But it's going to be fun. There's going to be older people that know what telethons are. Younger people may not really know what telethons are. You know, you can't really explain the joy as a child that you have when PBS is having their telethon with the phones ringing in the background. And if you time it just right, you can call them right as the camera is going by and watch somebody pick up the phone, say hello, and then hang up because you hang up on them. I used to.
What?
Yeah, I would sit there whenever they had the telethon thing going on for Ozark Public Television.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they would show pictures of, like they would do a video of the operators in the back that are answering phones, taking, pledges and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would I'd hear the phone ring whenever it would ring in my ear. I'd hear it ring shortly after that on TV, and then I'd hang up and then watch the person pick up, say hello, and then hang up. That tickled me to death for some reason.
It's definitely. What a menace.
That was. You never did that?
No. I did make crank phone calls.
We had this
They
one.
mostly turned into long conversations, though.
Did they?
Yeah.
So, did you when you say you tried a prank phone call? What was your prank phone call?
Is your refrigerator running? And
Oh, you better catch it. Do you have
Yeah.
Prince Albert in a can?
I didn't have
Oh,
that.
you better
one,
let
but-
him out.
Hmm.
Steve says that's not right, Matt. I know that's not right now, but back then I thought it was hilarious. I entertained myself however I could. It's almost time to get out of here already. So yeah, that was the enjoyment.
Making your own bullets. That's a really good thing
Yeah.
to need to, and to save those casings and even pick them up whenever you see them,
Yeah,
as long as they're good.
yeah, and you got to really know what you're doing though, and you can't be there can't be any distractions. The guy that I bought my first handgun from, he made his own ammo, and he made it a point. He would turn off his cell phone before, because you have to do things in a certain order, certain amount. If you mess up on something, you got basically little bombs.
Yeah.
So if you don't do it right, you could end up exploding your face.
Yeah. You don't want that.
That put a real damper on the day. Exploding face.
Yeah. Though it is, if you follow the right sequence, if you do it correctly, you can do it well.
Yeah.
And we should be able to, and we should learn to. I think it's important. Look, with these attacks on the Second Amendment and this younger generation who has been so well protected from true tyranny and truly, some of it has. There are bad neighborhoods where people do understand the dangers of society. I don't know how they don't translate that into a government that could be the same.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's time for us to get out of here.
Oh, good.
Be sure and tune in next.
I don't like talking about guns.
I do. I like
I
guns.
can talk a lot about it.
I enjoy guns. Not
Yeah.
only are they good for defense, but they're also enjoyable, therapeutic to use. At like a
threats
range.
against our Second Amendment right.
Right. That's stressful.
It is stressful.
So tune in next for what is it that's next? The Crosswalk of Hope with Dennis and Becky Code. And we'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same channel. So until then, my friends, God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt,
My name is Jay.
and this has been The Morning Drive.